And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wolf. I am very excited to bring Justin Werlein to you guys today for the podcast. We're talking trading. We're talking about all the things that go on with that as well. But we're also talking about his new product and new company, Tradepath. This is going to be combining all the knowledge he has with tech, with the new AI stuff that's coming out, with basically everything. He was like, I need this to have all in one spot, all in one place, and it needs to be solid. And he put that together. This is Tradepath. So I'm very excited to bring this conversation to you. Justin, welcome to the show. I can't wait to get into this conversation.
I appreciate you bringing me on, brother. I'm excited to kind of talk. I love just like, bringing on and just talking about as much as we can trading, and anybody that's watching, giving as much value as possible, talking about kind of what we're working on and just even, trading in general of, the last couple months and stuff and kind of what we're looking at going forward. So I'm glad to be on and talking with you, brother.
100%. And look, you're a seasoned trader, so I will let you do the intro. And look, he's going to keep it as humble as he can. He's a very seasoned trader. He's made a lot of money. He's developed his own trading principles and styles that a ton of people have started to follow. If you look him up on YouTube, you're going to find Forever Model, Justin Werlein all over the place. So talk a little bit about why you think it is so many people have said, hey, let me hop onto this. This strategy makes sense, even though there's a bunch of hate because, I don't know, people, I don't know what it is exactly, but there's so much hate around it. They're like, no, you have to do discretionary trading. And you're like, I don't know. So I'd love for you to give a bit of an intro.
Yeah. So I've been trading for 5 years now. I've made a little under $1 million, hoping I probably, who knows, that might get hit at the end of the year, but probably not. We'll see what the opportunity looks like. But going to what you said, I think like so I trade ICT concepts. I haven't always traded ICT concepts. When I first started actually getting into trading, I went from, my first like 3 months, my initial, introduction to trading was actually through like penny stocks. And looking at like, the float and then having scanners, what was popping up on the day, stuff like that. And then I traded options for around a year or so. And then after that is when I found ICT, started trading futures, ended up becoming profitable like 3 years after I started trading. So it took me around 3 years to start making money. I blew around 40 to 50 grand in my first 3 years before I started making money. But my first profitable year, I made 300 grand. And then now I've been doing it for 5 years full time, pretty much working on Tradepath tech software, where I wanted to kind of combine the things that I think make somebody successful, and really, give some traders a tool to actually help understand, what are the habits in place that they need to hold. Journaling their trades, I think, is one of the most important things, and is a very overlooked thing in trading, where it's funny because I see a lot of traders like that will easily throw a bunch of money at prop firms and then continue to blow them, but they don't even spend any money on like a journal to actually track their trading, track their decision making, like actually have the tools to look at their data, know if their edge is actually profitable or not profitable, know what kind of decisions they need to change within their edge during certain market conditions, during pretty much everything. And I think, my goal is to kind of switch. I think, social media and trading in general is very like flashy and very, get rich quick kind of thing. I think we're kind of starting to get out of it, but I really want to build a tool that not only I want to use and that I will use consistently, but that's going to just overall help as many people as possible within their trading journey.
Dude, that is the coolest. I'm super excited to get into it. And I see people here in the chat. And by the way, we do have a pretty cool offer. It's already there live, and you probably make more sense, more contextually once we dive into it. But if you guys go to the description on YouTube, or if you go on X into the tweet down below, then you will find the link to get actually a free trial to sign up for Tradepath. So I'm going to bring that up in a little bit again while we're going through the actual platform as well. I just wanted to allude that for the people who are in here early. Shout out to all of you guys for coming through. Definitely be sure to check that one out when we get into it. But Justin, I'm curious on what are the things you picked up along the way as far as a trader, from the 0 to 1, I guess. What have you noticed from the psychology of a trader? What are the most important things to tackle from your 0 to 1? And then we'll kind of tackle the next phase, I guess, of traders. I'm actually curious on how you think about that and how you break it down for the new trader as they become more and more seasoned.
Yeah. So I think there's a cycle that everybody kind of goes through within trading, where they are initially drawn to trading, obviously from, the money and the profits that you can make. You get to work by yourself. It's a very flashy thing. Like trading is an absolutely amazing job. There's no other job like trading. But I think quickly people find out that trading isn't as easy as what they thought it was, because it turns into a game versus them, you versus you pretty much. And are you able to say and do the things that you say you're going to do is really, one of the biggest things that I think holds a lot of traders back. So a lot of people that have been watching my content for a while know that, I'm big on psychology. I'm big on philosophy when understanding your relationship to money, your relationship to the markets. A lot of the times we trade to almost kind of affirm to ourselves that we know what we're doing, because of trading is a risk. And, as human beings, we're looking at this and saying, okay, well, if I'm putting in this much time, I hope that I get this much out of it.
Right.
But with trading, you're not paid for your time. You're paid for your decision making. So when you have a skewed perspective like that, and you continue to go into the market and you're looking for the affirmation that your time isn't being wasted, where it's like, I need to take a good trade, I need to pass a funded account, I need to have this happen. You're more focused on the outcome than the process.
Mm.
And as soon as you kind of switch to an outcome oriented focus, you'll overlook all of the mistakes that you make, and you won't, focus on fixing them. You're more prone to break your rules because of opportunity that might be in front of your face when it actually doesn't meet the requirements, and that's based on your rules. And I think, the really big foundation of like the 0 to 1, or, how does somebody really get to a point where they're starting to see success? I always say that everybody in their trading journey kind of gets to a point where you need to almost kind of die to your old self and say, you know what? I'm no longer going to sacrifice my long-term goals for my short-term dopamine, which is like, I'm going to sit in front of the market, take a bunch of trades because, I'm so focused on just passing my account. I'm so focused on making money, where I'm just going to take a bunch of trades. And you start to reprogram yourself to care more about building good habits. You care more about following your rules. And that is what it starts to give you satisfaction. So like for me, I could come into the day and make, $10,000, but if I make $10,000 and I broke every single one of my rules, I'm going to sit there and be very dissatisfied with myself. And I'm going to say, I don't care that I made this money, because the market's going to end up taking it right back from me if I'm not focused on protecting myself with the habits in place that is going to make me money long term. So I think that's one of the most overlooked things in trading, where number one, I think an edge is, the most important. If you don't have an edge, then psychology can't even really be a problem. You need to have an edge first that's proven, that you have data that can back. And once you have an edge, and I think, the easy thing, honestly, is having an edge, in my opinion, because there's just so much free education on YouTube. Like I have hundreds of videos. So many other traders have videos on YouTube going over IC concepts, a bunch of strategies. I think a lot of people in the space are like, oh, this strategy sucks. This strategy sucks. I really don't care. I think you can be profitable with genuinely anything if you have enough data to, support it, and have enough screen time to see it actually play out. But I think the most overlooked thing is not the strategy, but more so the view of how you actually relate to your success and how tied you are to money. If you look at yourself as, you need to be validated, and your identity rests in the amount of money you make, and you're looking for the validation of your trading within making money, what happens when you have a red day? Like your day is entirely ruined. And that used to be, my reality when I first started trading when I was in high school. Like every single morning that I took a loss, my entire day was ruined, because my identity and my success was based off of, did I have a green or red day? And it destroys your longevity mindset. It destroys your ability to actually be a professional trader. And I think the more that people realize that profitability and success is not a destination, but it's something that you step into as an identity, that is when you start seeing, a really, really big difference in your trading.
Wow, I love that. So for people, I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this are already familiar with you, and they've probably seen majority of your trading content. I imagine they know your story a little bit. But for people who don't know as much about your, the story, separate from trading, why are you at the place where you're at? And then also, I've met a lot of traders. Not nearly as many of them are thinking about it as deeply as you do, and certainly not attacking it in a serious manner and treating it the way you do, as a career almost. And I'm curious on how you think about that. I would love, anything you wanted to share.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you on the second part, but I'll kind of give a background on my story. So I kind of look at the turning point, I guess, that I look at when I ended up stumbling upon trading was before I found trading. I used to play ice hockey. So my entire life, I grew up in the Bay Area playing ice hockey. And when I was probably 16 or 17, I ended up getting a really bad concussion and I couldn't play anymore. And so that's when I also started, really playing video games. I played video games professionally, like Fortnite. I would, get flown out to events in Anaheim. I played Valorant a little bit professionally as well. Like I was a big gamer. And when it comes to like systems, team play, structure, and like really a nerd when it comes to like processes and like getting good at something. Like anything that I do, I hate being mediocre. I hate being like, I hate
Same.
it. It's like my worst thing. I need to be really, really good or else I'm not doing it. So when I found trading, afterwards, my parents always thought that I would be a lawyer because, I think I have, God has gifted me with the ability to, speak pretty coherently and, convey
Agreed.
my thoughts in a very good way. But I ended up finding trading, and through, that process of learning trading, I think one of the most overlooked things of trading is just the amount of emotional maturity and how much you grow as an individual within, going through the process of trading, because it's very uncomfortable. It's
Yeah.
extremely uncomfortable. And I think that most people think that that's a bad thing, but it's actually a blessing. I think the sword is always going to be sharpened through the fire. And I think, when I, pray to God and I say, God, I hope that I'm going to be successful. He knows that my goals I am not the person currently to accomplish my goals yet. And so a lot of
Oh,
people need
wow.
to kind of think about it like that, where it's like everybody has goals, but they're not yet the person to accomplish those goals. So,
Wow.
that's why you go through a lot of hardship and you have struggles in your trading, because, that's the market literally saying in front of you, like, hey, bro, this is what you need to fix. Like, this is the problem. And I'm going to give you the decision whether you want to continue to focus on just trying to make money or actually improving as an individual, improving your patience, improving your discipline, knowing what satisfies you. If you're just chasing money, then you're always going to have ups and downs in life. You're never going to be satisfied. If you're focused on self-improvement, then that's endless. That's eternal. So, when it comes to the idea of, improvement and becoming successful, and a little bit like from my story, those 3 years were brutal, like terrible. Days where I woke up and I like have videos of like me in my car riding, driving my car to the gym after I just took a loss and just being like frustrated with myself.
Yeah.
And I think traders always fall into, this, guilt cycle where I analogize it as like we have this mental ladder where it's like we have, 2 steps up, 2 steps down. Oh, I just did something good. Oh, I did something good. Oh, well, now I'm back down. And we're always feeling like we're on a hamster wheel in that, cycle of profitability. And that's why I think a lot of people try to get burnt out and like really affected emotionally by trading, because they're tying their success to like, how can I not, accomplish this? How can I not do this? And I think like traders choose to fall into that, where it's like the reason why I focus so much on psychology and philosophy, and I think a lot of people don't take it seriously, is because it's been shown to be not taken seriously. It's like you go on social media and, you have a lot of these influencers, not really like traders, that are more so focused on showing lifestyle and, the dream and the outcome of trading, and not actually trading. And so I think with trading, like, the analogy I use is like, you can't treat trading like you're hopping on playing Fortnite with your friends. Like it's a business. You have to treat yourself like a professional. And the amount of, self-improvement that you're going to go through that by treating yourself as a professional and treating it like it's not a video game, but like this is your job. You're going to see way more success when you do it that way.
It makes sense. And honestly, for me, I tried to do a bit of both. I think I did well in learning the fundamentals behind the way the market moves a little bit. And I will say, once I learned about liquidity and sort of these other principles you guys do, I learned a lot more. And it's what's the funniest thing, actually, and I was actually excited to tell you this. I have a couple guys on X who are elite traders. These guys are, I don't know what kind of money these guys have, but it's 1,000 times more than me. And they'll be like talking, and he'll tell me something like 2 or 3 weeks early, and it'll be so accurate. And I'm like, and he'll text me like 3 weeks later. He's like, see, and it'll be like within like $1. And I'm like, how is that possible? And then literally like 5 or 6 months later, Jordan's talking about this. Obviously, you're coming up a little bit, and I was like, wait a minute. So I text him like, any chance you like, is this like kind of the way you trade? And he's like, of course. I was like, he's like, this is how the market moves. He's like, of course, this is how I trade. And I was like, wow, and it clicked for me. But I thought that was fascinating. But I agree with you. It's really hard to do both. You can't, because it's almost disrespectful to say, oh yeah, I can do your career in half the time. I'll spend half the amount of work you do, and I'll still make it pro. It's like maybe a small percentage of people could do it, but it is difficult. You really do have to treat it like a career. You have to take it professionally. And honestly, I think that's a really good caveat for people who are watching right now. We're going to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek. I was really excited that Justin was able to come on today, and we're going to go through Tradepath a little bit here. And I want to show you guys this is not the full final product. This is going to be on steroids very soon. We just want to give you a sneak peek. There is a free trial as well. So I'm going to pull that up at the top here in a second. But I do want to show this through because I think this is a perfect way to kind of introduce people to trading who are looking to get better, to start tracking stuff, and to see what actually matters, what's actually important. And you've built one of the coolest products I've seen for trading. It's very professional. It's clean. It's very sleek. So look, I'm very excited about this. If you're on X, It's down below in the tweet below the stream. If you guys want to sign up, you have a free trial literally right now. It's right now. So you have to sign up today, right now. It is there in the tweet below. And if you're on YouTube, it's in the comments. It's also in the description on the video. So that's where it will be for the whole video. Just want to give you guys an insane offer. It is free trial right now, but this is the platform. Justin, if you want to walk us through a little bit here on what we're looking at, why is it also that you guys have had so many people sign up and have so much interest in this? Because there's a bunch of these kind of products. They don't all look like this though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, going back to what we were saying earlier, I think a lot of people overlook the process of looking at their own decision making, where when I look back at my early journey, like I couldn't even tell you the trade that I took 4 days ago. Like I would have no idea. And I think a lot of people wonder why they make the same mistakes over and over again, and they can't break out of the problems in which they're repeating because they really don't know what the problem is. Like they can have an idea where it's saying, oh, well, I keep over trading. Okay, well, is it because you're over trading and you don't know when to step away? And you know that when, you take more than 2 trades on the day, your win rate decreases by 40%. Like if you don't have actual data, and there was a CEO of, what company was he worked at? But I had a mentor, which was a CEO of a company, and he told me, what doesn't get tracked doesn't get fixed. And if you're not looking back at the decisions in which you're making, and also that, in life in general, it's going to be very hard for you to improve. So within building Tradepath, my main goal was a couple things. Journaling is not a, new thing. But the product in which we're building, and, like you said, in, 2 months, this is going to look completely different with the amount of work and what we're doing to it. And changing the process of also getting the right information, but, with actually watching a trader trade live and being able to record that data, record that information, and give traders the clarity in which they can understand which is holding them back, the problems in which they're falling into. Are they following their rules? What are the habits in which place they need to even have? But even just the basics of what Tradepath is currently right now is so beneficial to just have an easy platform to take time to reflect on your journal, be able to go back, look at the trades that you have AI analysis, be able to look at which, all of your data to tell you specific things in which you might not be able to see. So today I'm actually going to, and I was just telling Kate, I have not yet journaled the trade that I took today. So I took 2 trades. One was a stop out, one was a win. And I basically want to run you guys through the process of journaling and how I basically go about it. So number one, within Tradepath, you can have broker connections and you can also do it manually. So right now, what you can do is if you're trading on a prop firm, and a lot of prop firms offer Tradeovate, you can connect Tradeovate directly into the platform. So you won't even have to journal manually. You can seamlessly connect all of your trade data into the journal, and then go add notes, go add screenshots of the charts, go add everything, and be able to label it and create a strategy. NinjaTrader, we have CT Trader, TradeStation, and then also TopStep X that you can import, CSV files. So kind of the process of this is normally, when I am going to journal a trade, I'll go to, log day first. And up here, actually, the first thing I kind of want to show you is before we even journal a trade, I have a strategy created. So in our strategy details, this is basically everything that I am making sure I need to follow for my trading, which is I have my trade rules and I have my day rules. So for me to be able to take a trade, I need to see liquidity and manipulation. I need to have a confident draw on liquidity, a change in the state of delivery, and an SMT divergence. Now, an SMT divergence is not necessity, but it's something I add to see what the difference is when I do follow with an SMT versus when I don't follow with an SMT. And then no trade first 5 minutes of New York Open.
Ooh,
so 5K.
Wait, that's fascinating. That last one.
Yeah. So, and then day rules are like 5K max loss in the day, no trading, no news Mondays are the rules that I have. So when I go to log a trade, first thing I can see is my day rules. So did I have max 5K loss? Yes. Did I not trade a no news Monday? Yes, it's obviously Thursday. So up here on the top right, I have my trade list. So this is when I can actually add a trade. So what I'll do is I'll go into trading view. I'm not sure if you can see this. I might have to share the screen or change.
I can't see trading view right now. You may have to bounce to a different tab.
Yeah. Let me pull up the
Either one works,
screen here.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do this. There we go. Okay.
So
over on trading view, what I'll do is this is the trade that I took today. So overall in the morning, markets ended up opening. I took an early short, got stopped out, low profit, and then re-entered when I got the confirmation for it. And then market sold off, ended up taking profits when we, started to slow down. So what I'll basically do is I'll say, okay, well, I want to know like my analysis for this trade. I want to be able to look back at it and understand why I took it. So what I'm going to do is, when I look at the bigger time frame, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say, okay, this was the foundation of what I look for. I'm going to go grab a snipping tool. I'm going to screenshot this. And then I'm going to go back over to Tradepath, and I'm going to just mark this as a 15-minute. So I save changes. So now it's labeled as a 15-minute time frame. So I know when I go back, okay, I'm looking at the 15-minute. And then I do want to zoom in again and say, okay, well, what was I looking internally? And I'll go down to, the lower time frame, maybe on the 1 minute, and I'll take another screenshot. And I'll say, okay, this is the 1 minute time frame. Go back over to Tradepath, literally just super quick, label this 1 minute, copy paste it, literally just Control V in it. And then I'll add one more screenshot on the 30-second, which is where I took the execution on the change in the state. So I'll zoom in even more, and I'll take another screenshot and then drop it into Tradepath. And I'll mark this as a 15-second or 30-second. So that's the first thing that I do, is just mark out the trade that I took and all of the screenshots for it. Now, my day today was 2,200. So if you want to do it manually, you can do it manually. Obviously, it depends on if you do it manually or you connect it to your broker, whatever that is. On the top right, I can click futures. This was on NQ. And then right here is where I have my strategies. So I can check off, did I have a confident liquidity manipulation? Yes. Or did I have a confident draw on liquidity? Yes. Was there a change in the state? Yes. Was there an SMT that was in favor? There was not. So I will not check this. No trade first 5 minutes? Yes. Check that off. So then I can go down here and click side, short, quantity. I traded 3 contracts. And then when I go to my stop loss, I want to be able to look at, my stop loss was at that recent high. So it was 24713. So I go over here, stop loss 24713. Now, all of this, again, like we said, this is like, there's so many updates that are coming next week on Monday. This will be fully customizable. Every page will be able to be template. Like, you'll be able to have a template for it. So like if I want to come in and I don't want to track any of the, specific things, I can actually add other things that I want to track. I can add, my own custom inputs that I want to track. I can customize my notes down here. So every time I go in, it already has everything labeled out that I can just go fill in. And that's something that will be added later. So when it comes down to time of trade, I'll just go back to this and say, okay, time of trade, 9:38. My last contract that I took off was 9:45. So I'll go over here and click 9:38 to 9:45. And that's pretty much the main things that I want to know, right? I want to know what the time of the trade was, quantity, stop loss, and then planned RR and realized RR is something that I can also add, but we'll skip that for now. So what I do when it comes to my notes is the main things that I want to understand when I am journaling is, what was my initial bias? What was I looking for going into the day? What was the main things in which I was focusing on? What did I do right and what did I do wrong? So when it comes to like a notes like this, I'll normally start with,
oh, Justin, your video cut out, by the way. Your audio is still there, but video cut out.
oh, let me see. Let me check my camera. I think it might be.
No worries. And by the way, guys, while he's taking care of that,
Looks like the battery. I'll switch.
Oh, there we go. He's back. He's back.
I think my battery got exhausted, so let me switch the camera over.
No worries.
We'll switch it here.
All right, let me add this back.
All right. So for original bias, normally what I'll do, especially because, so one thing that you got to keep in mind is AI, and we're going to get into that after I do this, but it's connected to everything. So the more detailed you are, the more that the platform and our AI is going to know exactly how you think. And it's going to know your strategy by the way that you communicate it. So for example, what we're building into the platform, which I'll show you in a second, but what I'm currently using is just a third-party platform to be able to do it, is I use Whisper. So which is, I can just talk into my mic and it'll transcribe it into my journal. So basically, this is what I'll say. Going into the day, I was very bearish as the market had pumped higher from FOMC. We had clear sell-side liquidity resting below. There was a 5-minute fair value gap that I wanted to see the market go higher into at open first before manipulating to go lower. When market ended up opening, I stayed patient. We ended up coming up into that first inefficiency. I took the initial trade that got stopped out, which I think was the cost of doing business. I think that was a totally fine trade. And then the market moved higher, ended up having another 30-second change in the state. I entered the short, ended up going towards my TP. Now, I ended up taking it off before the low because ES ended up taking that low before NQ. So there was a bullish SMT in the opposing direction. I'm overall very happy with this day and happy with the trade that I took. let go.
Wow.
And it'll transcribe that into my journal. So then down here, I'll go rights and wrongs. And I'll basically just talk about what I think that I did right, what I think that I did wrong. Going into the day, I think the things that I did right was overall, according to my pre-market plan and the pre-market bias that I had, I followed exactly what I wanted to see within the market, played out beautifully. Even when I took my partials off, I think I did it a great job because when ES took the low, there was a reason for me to take it off because of the opposing bearish SMT or the bullish SMT. Now, one thing that I think I could have done better is actually put on more size because of the conviction that I had in the trade. I only put on 3 contracts, was risking not that much. I definitely could have put on more size. In fact, even double my position size. This is normally, half size. And I think this was an A+ setup for me and my setup. So I could have definitely put on more size with this trade. But other than that, I think it was a solid day.
I love this. What do you think is the most important part of this entry, would you say?
I think all of it, because there's different reasons why it's important. Number one, original bias, like I want to know, did I follow my initial plan? And it's important that the AI in the platform knows how you think. So what you're gonna see in a second is me inputting all of this information is now going to be taken into an AI chatbot that I can continue to talk to, and then also have AI insights within my strategy. Now, rights and wrongs are just as important because I need to reflect on what I think I did right and what I think I did wrong, or else I don't know if I'm improving, right? If I made money, it doesn't matter if I made money. Did I do what I needed to do and actually made money? If I lost money, did I do what I needed to do and still lost money? So at the bottom here, we can rate the setup. In my opinion, this was an A setup. So I'll mark this. Emotional state was pretty calm, and I click submit. So after
I
this,
love that part. By the way, I love that part. I think that is genius. I mean, this is like young entrepreneurs. Like this is like seeing something and saying, I want a custom, high quality, exact, specific thing like this. I will use tech to make it now. Like this is exactly what I think. I mean, this is so cool.
I appreciate it. So then after that, takes me back to the log day, and then I just click submit, and then it'll add to my dashboard. It'll update my statistics, and that'll be pretty much it. Now, what I do now from this is a couple things. There's a couple things that I'll kind of walk you through with this. Number one, next Monday, all of this dashboard will be fully customizable. So we are adding like 15 widgets that you'll be able to customize. You'll be able to add, literally so much more detail into your dashboard and customize it within, more widgets to be able to see more in-depth statistics and overall what you want to, view with your trading. But, we'll get into that later. So now going back to the strategy page, what's cool about this is we add a literal just button where it's analyze now. So anytime that I add a new trade to my journal, I can come to my strategy page, click analyze, and what it's going to do is it's going to take that recent trade that I just had, and it's going to now take all of the previous trades that I also have taken in the last however many, months that I've been trading. So it's going to take a little bit of time, normally it's like 30 seconds to a minute, because it's taking all of this data, and it's going to tell me an analysis breakdown of the recent trade that I just added and how it compares to all of my previous data. So we'll give it a little bit of time here while it's starting to, form this, because it's very in-depth. It's going to give me a big breakdown, and we'll kind of go through it and see what it says.
Yeah, this is great, because it's like, why am I even bothering to put this entry in? It's like, well, it's not just so it can go into your notepad to never be read again. Like there's a reason this information is used. It's tracked. And
what you'll see too is a lot of people ask me, it's like, Justin, how is the AI going to know like how I trade specifically, why it does it? It's because the more that you journal it, the more it's going to know exactly how you trade. Yep. So, all right, Justin, let's break down this trade from 25/9/18, right? Which is today. This is a direct follow-up to the last summary, and the patterns are becoming crystal clear. Strategy, rule, adherence, summary. Starting with the absolute standout positive, your adherence to your core trade rules is now consistently elite. You hit all 4 of your high-rated 4 out of 5 criteria: liquidity manipulation, confident draw on liquidity, changing the state in SMT. You are also followed the most important rule: no trade first 5 minutes of New York Open, 5 for 5, waiting until 9:38 UTC. This is not a coincidence. This is disciplined execution of your edge. The result: another clean, significant win of $2,200. This is a second A+ setup in a row that you've perfectly identified and capitalized on. Your daily rule adherence is 5K max loss and no trading on No News Monday, which was also solid. However, you repeated the exact same critical mistake from your last trade. You broke the 2 trades max rule. Oh, so this I just didn't check off, right? This should have been checked off. But
got it. But I like that. It calls you out. But it's not
exactly
just an opinion. It's data.
Exactly. Your own data states you didn't follow it. This was the not first
Wow.
trade of the day. This is not a confirmed pattern of behavior, right? So performance impact of rules. The lesson is being hammered home. You perform best when you follow your trade rules. Your last 2 wins, totaling over 4,400, are directly built on the foundation of your strategy's edge. You are proving without a doubt that your system works. Conversely, you are performing in spite of breaking your daily rules, not because of it. Again, thinking that I broke my daily rules, I have to go back and change it. Which again, also, if you come back to this and see like, oh wait, this doesn't make sense, you might have missed a check off or something. But it's going to tell you what your data shows. It reinforces the bad habit that the rule doesn't matter. Blah 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 blah. Okay, behavioral patterns. The pattern is undeniable. Discipline, trade entry paired with undisciplined daily trade management. Your emotion was optimal during the trade itself, which is fantastic. But the decision to take this trade in the first place was likely driven by a different emotion, perhaps overconfidence from the previous win or fear of missing out on another setup. You are aware enough to note the rule break in your own data, which shows self-honesty, but you need to act on the awareness before entering the trade. Changes since last summary. The improvement in your trade execution is phenomenal and must be celebrated. You have strung together two textbook perfect trades in a row. Your ability to identify your full setup, manage the trade, and exit based on logical reasoning, the opposing of SMT, right? It's literally telling me exactly why I took it because I'm giving it the information and it's going to learn my strategy over time. Shows massive growth. This is the mark of a professional trader. The regression on your daily discipline, 2 trades max. Again, this is what I have to go back and fix. Action plan. Acknowledge the contradictions. You are executing like a pro within your trades, but managing your day like an amateur. You must resolve the disconnect. Again, got to go back and change it. Lock it down. Sole focus in the next 2 weeks is the 2 trades max rule, nothing else, because this is what it's taking as the most broken rule in the last 3 trades. Address the size issue. Your note about putting on more size is interesting. Your instinct is correct. An A+ setup deserves full size, but you can't have it both ways. You can't break your trade limit and size up. The rule-based approach is if you see an A+ setup as your first or second trade, you take it with full conviction and size. So it gives me an entire breakdown of literally everything. So now we can then go to this page, which is TradeStage Assistant. This is a full AI chatbot, which you can ask literally anything. So we have a predefined list of questions that you can choose from. So like, give me a breakdown of my trading. What brings me the most success in my trading? Where am I the most profitable? Where am I the least profitable? How can I improve my trading? How can I improve my strategy? Where am I lacking in my trading? What's holding me back from making more money? So like what I can do here is I can say, give me a breakdown of today's trade in relation to my data as a whole. What should I focus on as a trader the rest of the week? Literally ask it anything.
This is the best part about AI is you can throw at this, but it will respond to you in a way that you can actually read it and understand and take something from it. Love this.
And like the way in which we made it too is also to not, BS you. Yeah. Like if there is a problem, it will tell you there's a problem. And if you're doing well, it's going to reward you for doing well, but continue to, push you to be the best version of yourself as well. So today's performance analysis, looking at your recent trade, you've been inconsistent with your core issues. Your September 17th trade shows improvement. You followed your no trade first 5 minutes rule perfectly and caught 2 solid moves, but you're still trading in a warning zone, emotional states, and breaking your own 2 trades max rule. Again, this is what we're going to go back and change that. This week's focus area, stop the bleeding on rule violations. Again, it's taking out the most, because the last 3 days have literally been perfect. It's trying to take the one thing that it's seeing as a problem, which was just me, not checking off that rule. Emotional discipline is non-negotiable. Quality over quantity. You make more in 2 to 3 high-quality trades than in 10 mediocre ones.
Dang.
This is huge, right? Your best days, which is Wednesdays, prove waiting for A+ setups pay exponentially before forcing B to C trades. Wow. You know exactly what works. SMT confirmation, change in the state, proper stops. Your A-rated setups print money. Stop compromising on your edge. This isn't about finding new strategies. It's about executing what you already know works. Your data screams the truth. Discipline creates profit. Desperation creates losses.
That is so real. What do you think about that? Like, do you think it's worth it to trade on those days? Do you think the B+, the Bs, the C+ setups, is that even worth taking? Is the risk reward worth it if you're 5 to 1 or something like that? Do you think it's still worth the trade?
No. So it's not necessarily about the risk. It's about what is my data showing me? I know from journaling that when I take B to C setups, I have a lower probability of winning, and I have a lower success rate of my P&L in relationship to those trades. Now, the highest trades that I'm going to take is like when I look at my month so far, right? 53% win rate can be way, 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 way better. right? The reason why this is lower is because there's around 3 to 4 trades that are losses that were not A+ setups.
Got it.
So if I cut those out, my stats are going to significantly increase. And that's what Tradepath is telling me right now, where it's like, hey, let's cut out these trades. Like, we're literally showing you right now, you are way more profitable if we were to just cut out these setups, these mediocre ones, and only focus on A+ setups. Like, your data is consistently showing you when you follow these rules, you are way more successful. And taking the time to journal and look at this data is going to give you a clear foundation of what you need to focus on, because traders have a problem where it's like, I don't know what to improve. I don't know what to focus on. I don't know what the problem is. Like, I keep falling into this. I keep losing. I don't know what the problem is. But it's like, of course you don't know what the problem is. You're not taking time to actually review the decisions you're making. You're not taking time to actually go back and look at, why you made those decisions and the trades in which you're taking. And so giving somebody an opportunity and a platform that is so easy to use, and having, AI just be able to instantly tell them those things, is just so beneficial.
Agreed. Yeah, this is so important. And there's really not, you're not going to find a way. Like, I think the reason this is cool, this is especially cool for me, even though I'm not like super actively trading the way you guys are, is because I spent a couple of years doing it during the bear market. And I remember thinking, man, I need someone who can hold me accountable, but like, I'm not going to like hit up my friend. He's doing his other thing. I can't do it because I will make excuses for myself, and I will make up any other reason other than the fact that I shouldn't have taken the trade, And so I was just like, man, it would be good to have something like this. And this is nice because it's basically an agent. You can text it and interact with it, and it'll go back and forth with you. And I know we'll probably have a follow-up because I know there's gonna be more features, and I know there are probably more features at this current moment as well.
When we look at when you guys look at like what Tradepath is right now, this is like 30% of what we're building.
Crazy. What do you can you drop anything about what is to come? Because right now, people,
the major things I can't. The major things I can't, because competitors, what we're building has never been made before. So it's going to be what I will say is, anybody that trades on TradingView, I truly believe it will be a necessity. Like, there is no reason why somebody would not want to use it, because it's going to be so good. Like, because it's changing the entire process of journaling and the entire process of actually knowing how to trade and improve. And I can't really go much more than that, but like, it is going to be really, really sick.
I love that line. If you trade on TradingView, this is going to be something you need. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. Guys, look, there's a free trial link right now. If you're on X watching, if you're on X streams, appreciate you guys tuning in live. Please go to the tweet down below the stream. Get the free trial link now. Lock it in. You want to get started now and just lock in your place. As more features are going to come in, there will be paid opportunities to get in as well, to access more and more features that are going to be more and more customizable. And those will continue to, there will be more of those available as well. But right now, there is a free trial link. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description. X is just a tweet below. And highly recommend you guys check it out today, because we'll have it at some point. But look, these opportunities don't come every single day. I can't guarantee in a week this offer will be here. That's the main reason I'm pushing it today live.
Yeah.
So be sure to check it out. If you guys have any interest, or you guys even look like you might start trading, I think it's at least checking out. At least worth checking out.
And also too, like, every Monday, guys, we are pushing big updates. So every Monday, the entire week, our team is working. We have a big group of developers that are just, some of the hard workers and the best developers I've seen. And, the amount of time we've worked on this and where we're at right now within, the team communication and just how much work is getting done. So next Monday, templates will be added to every single page. The entire dashboard, there's going to be 10 more widgets to be able to update with, a bunch of bug fixes. We're constantly talking to users in our Discord group, in my community, on Twitter, on Instagram.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so there is a place people can jump to for community stuff to go back and forth. Okay.
Yeah.
That? Is that going to be here? Should they go to Tradepath first to find that, or should they go somewhere else?
So there's a couple things. I would say either go to Twitter. So follow us on Twitter. We'll post updates here and everything. But if you do want to join the Discord, if you go to tradepath.ai and you go to contact us, there is the Discord link where you can join our Discord here.
And that is the same link as the one in the description, by the way. That'll take you to the main site, and once you're there, you can find it there. So that's actually perfect. It's in one place. Very cool. And if you're following on X, they're tagged. Justin and Tradepath are both tagged above, so one click away. Be sure to follow and turn the notifications on, because like I said, there's gonna be updates coming out. All right, so what are we looking at here? What do you got pulled up here?
So I kind of know what traders want. So one thing that I did want to make is like the whole entire application completely customizable.
Nice.
So you can change literally everything. You want
Wow.
to change your colors, you can customize literally everything.
You
And
got to make themes. You got to have like a
exactly,
one that's like
you can make
selectable,
your
you
own
know?
themes. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like
Look at that.
we also have a background. So too, like I have the black background, but like you can change the background color too, so it adds a little bit more of a
Oh, look
glow
at
to
that.
it, a little bit more accent. But you can literally change, anything you want. If I want my primary, I want my win, maybe I want my loss to be, a red, and my
Do you have any
background, I can maybe,
advice, by the
a
way?
little
Like,
bit
is
like
there a
this.
psychological aspect to the colors? Like, I feel like there's a reason you chose yours if you stick with them. Because I've heard people talk about it, and they're like, I don't
So
use these colors because it affects me mentally.
yeah, you can. So it's like, in my opinion, with journaling, like it really is all up to you. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
that it's like a massive, like if your journal is like, green and red, like you're going to start freaking out. Maybe if like
Sure.
you're sensitive, but it's like, bro, you need to fucking grow up and like start trading more so you can break out of that where it's like you're getting affected by color. Now on the charts, I think it's way different than it is on a journal. Like if you think like red and green charts, like for example, when you look at my charts, they're not red. It's white and black, right? So it's like
Yeah.
I've always traded white and black. I used to trade, like people know me in the past for trading. Like I used to have a black chart. The background was black. I used to have white and gray candles, but then I changed it to a lighter theme, like a year ago. But I don't think it's that big of a thing really when it comes to like journaling.
Okay. Got it. Very cool. Is there anything we should look at before we close out on the platform that you want to make sure people are aware of, or maybe even just a sneak peek before we close?
I mean, another cool thing is just like one thing that we're working on is our statistics page. So like this is in a very easy way. So it's like if I want to see all my trades that I've taken on a Monday, I can look at all my Monday statistics.
Love that.
So it'll show me everything on a Monday. At the bottom, I'll have all the trades that I've taken on a Monday. So I can literally go back and see, oh, I took a $3,000 loss here. When I go back and I look at this, I'm like, okay, what was I thinking on this trade? Like, why did I take this short? And I can go back, what did I write about this, and look back at all of, the statistics in which, I've taken and why it might have worked or not worked. I can choose like trade duration. Show me all the trades that I've taken that were less than 20 minutes long, or I chose 20 hours. But anyway, you can kind of see and look at all of the trades that you've taken, go back and, be able to identify them. And, it's really easy to be able to navigate and have it all in one place.
That is a very interesting one because you said it pulls up every Monday. So you'd literally be able to say, okay, yeah, I don't trade on Sundays from 2 to 4. Why? I just get wrecked because I go find random crypto degen stuff. I just know it's what happens I avoid that time. That's so fascinating. I love this, dude.
Yeah. And like,
is this kind of thing possible without AI? Like, do you think like the top features are because AI allows us to kind of integrate these like real-time data and quickly integrate it as well? Do you think AI is the secret in the hack?
So what I've realized is AI is not some magical tool. It's how you can actually use AI to get in what you want. I think we're at the point with AI where it all comes down to creativity and the way in which you're able to prompt it and give it the directions to do the task in which you're looking for it to do. So like, for example, this statistics page, there is no AI in this. It's just you're giving it a set of qualifications. Anything that's labeled with a Monday on a date, it will give you. There's no AI in this. Now, when it comes to like strategy and the AI insights, when it's giving custom reports and the chatbot, that's AI. And then the product that we're building, which I can't say, is like full AI, own ML code that's never been created to be able to do stuff that we're not talking about yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think AI really comes down to like AI is a very powerful thing. If you know, number one, what the problem is. Like at the end of the day, like when you're trying to build a product and like as a trader, when I'm saying, how can I give the clearest and concise information to a trader so that they know what to improve and what to fix. Where it's like, I think a lot of other trade journals, like the problem that I see and why we're different and like my focus is all other trade journals are like, here's your data, figure it out. Where it's like, you think a trader doesn't know they're losing? Like if I'm losing, I know I'm losing. I don't need to be told I'm losing. I need help to like know why I'm losing and what I need to improve to stop losing. That's the biggest thing, right? So it's like, the things in which we're building are really going in that direction where we can almost gamify the process of trading and exponentially increase the learning curve for a trader by having this product.
Dude, this is really cool. Like I said earlier, I mean, this is like the epitome of young entrepreneurs taking advantage and seeing an opportunity in the market and saying that this is something I'd like. We've worked with a few different companies, partnered long-term, where it was the exact same mentality from the founder. It was like, I'm someone who actively did this. I was in here, I hated this thing about whatever it was, and I went and solved it. But it wasn't some, duct tape solution. It was a very, very sweet product. So again, look, guys, if you're watching this show and you're live or you're watching it, later today or something, be sure to check this out. There's a free trial link in the description. I can't guarantee it'll be free forever. So that's why I keep, yapping about it. It's in the description on YouTube. It's in the tweet down below on X. Definitely check it out, lock your place in, and then jump in the Discord as well. If you have questions in there, there's other people who already have the platform who've used it. And so if you guys have questions, like these are the right people to ask, right?
Mm-hmm. And always like feel free to add us on Twitter and anything. Like our job, and we want to listen to incorporating as much as we can with our user feedback. Like you guys help make the product better, with things that you want to add, things that you maybe don't like and think that can be improved. Like all of our improvements is all based off of user feedback.
Nice. Okay, that's fantastic. In that case, then especially if you're already in the Justin Werlein community in the Forever model, then I see no reason you shouldn't at least hop in there and see what's going on. So Justin, look, I'll drop the share screen, so you don't have to worry about that. But listen, I really appreciate you coming on. That was fantastic. Really cool breakdown. And also an in-depth look indirectly on how you think about the world as well, because of the product you created and why you made it. And so I'll turn it over to you for like any final words or last things you want to throw in there. But I really appreciate you sharing some time with us.
No, I appreciate you having me on. I think, just final words I would say is anybody who's in here that's watching as a trader, know that like one thing I always say is, it's very easy to get stressed out and be like, oh, well, I need to make more money. I need to do this, where it's like, you got to take a deep breath and know it's like, you are exactly where you need to be. All of the problems which you have are there for you to improve and to learn if you have the right perspective, if you operate out of abundance and not know and don't tie your value to money, where it's like, I've had no money and I've had a lot of money, and it really doesn't affect anything. It all comes down to the way in which you view, yourself and, the internal goals in which you have as an individual. It's like, if you're, smoking weed all day and, knowing that you're cheating yourself, but have a bunch of money, it really doesn't matter. That money doesn't mean anything. And I think social media more so portrays where it's like, here's, a bunch of people with money. It's like, these people are somehow better than you. In reality, no, they're not. Most of the people that I know that have a lot of money, I would never want to hang out with. So focus on yourself, cut out the noise. Don't care about what anybody else is doing. Use tools like Tradepath and other tools to really help focus on your habits, tracking your decision-making, taking the time to really treat this as a professional and asking yourself, have I been treating this like a side hobby, or have I actually been taking this seriously? And I think that once you can really sit yourself down and ask those hard questions, you're going to start seeing some improvement.
I love that. And by the way, Justin, just I'll say this also after, but I just saw a couple comments saying for people who already have an account, they're not able to access free trial. So I guess we'll hit them up afterwards or something like that. I see a couple of the comments here. Scott, I see Scott and a couple others. If you're not able to, just hop in the Discord, shoot Justin a message or one of the mods in there. I assume someone can help you in there, but I imagine that's probably the best way to get started. We want you guys to check out the platform, of course, right? That's the main goal here. And so we really appreciate it. Justin, again, appreciate you coming on. If you're looking to start getting into trading, look, this is the place, and there's no better time to get started than today. If you missed out last year and you saw these gains, you saw people you knew left and right making money, look, it's a skill set like any other. You want to pick up a guitar, it's going to take you some time, but there are platforms and tools and people there to help you. So listen, appreciate everyone for coming through. We have Space and streams every single day here at Wolf. So we'll catch you guys all in the next one. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe, repost if you're on X, do all the things, whatever platform you're on. If you're on YouTube, definitely subscribe to Justin on YouTube and check out all the videos you put out, a bunch of great stuff. And we'll catch you guys all in the next one, everyone. Take care.
Take care, guys.
And going live.